this is a style trend that people might find to be disorganized. It's the eclectic trend. And we want to talk about what eclectic means when it comes to your design, and also what it doesn't mean, and if there are rules, because there are probably bigger rules. It might be a little bit harder to do eclectic than it is to just go into a showroom and buy a whole space. Like, I'll take those 2 chairs and that sofa and that art and that rug. You know, it all goes together. But if you want to be eclectic, how do you do that? How would you describe it?
Well, I think contrast in different design themes. But I think one of the important things too is, you know, I have a lot of clients where I go to their house and they say, you know, I have all these matching furniture sets. My dining room matches, my master bedroom suite matches, and now all of a sudden eclectic's in and I'm supposed to go out and get all new things. So this is where it can really work well, because you could take that matching bedroom set and keep the bedside tables and change the headboard to an upholstered headboard, and then use that headboard in another room and do some different, maybe mirrored bedside tables. So you can actually repurpose your things in different areas, maybe where you wouldn't originally think you would use them, but you know, just by mixing it up. And the idea also of, you know, reusing things that you already have, then it probably would flow nicely through the house as well. So even though you're having contrast and juxtaposition, it still makes sense from a design aesthetic when you're moving through the house.
I love that. Okay, that's a good thing to think about. Shai, what do you think of when you think of eclectic?
So here's the thing about eclectic is there's a very fine line between it looks like a garage sale and it's well designed. So you have to be really careful, and I guess the biggest tip or the easiest tip that we can really give to our viewers at home is pick something, and there should be 2 somethings that carry through everything that you're doing. So it could be scale, it could be color, it could be material, it could be something that carries through them all. So to kind of have that tie-in through all your pieces, scale is usually an easier one to do because you can kind of be a little bit more free with color and with texture and things like that. And scale just makes that tie-in, them feel like they should work together. Color is another one, but you have to be very careful with color that you don't overdo too much of one color, too much of another. So, you know, for an eclectic style and eclectic design, it seems like it would be the easiest because it's just like I'm going to throw anything I want together, but it's the most difficult to put together in a well-styled manner.
Hardest to achieve for sure.
Life is in the details. Yeah, it's all about that, right?
Speaking of details, Miss Detail herself. So how do you feel about eclectic design, and how do you describe it?
I really like eclectic design. I think it's interesting, it's unexpected if it's done well.
Right.
So my theory on eclectic is you're trying to create tension between, you know, your base pieces and accent pieces. So maybe you're going with a modern, very sleek look, but you want to hang a vintage French chandelier you know, above a classic dining room table.
I already love that. I already love it.
So, you know, you want to look up and say, okay, well, that wasn't what I was expecting, but it works. So you know, keeping the classics together, but blending different, you know, eras. So you can also do that by, again, modern rustic. So you're going to do very modern furniture, but you couple that with that rustic, sort of, you know, earthy feel, and that way it's not, again, expected. So to me, eclectic means stepping outside of the box. You know, creating a little bit of, like I said, tension. So it's special. It's not predictable.
So this whole idea of staying true to, you know, when you live in, say, a century-old home, and then we hear, well, you need to sort of stay true to that era. No, not so much.
For me, it's the opposite.
Okay.
You know, I think there's nothing better than walking into a home that was built in the turn of the century, and you open up the front door and you see these grand moldings and these beautiful, you know, carved archways, and then a extremely modern sofa as the backdrop, or very clean line kitchen cabinetry with all of those moldings. And if you look at design magazines, you know, from Paris and Europe, that is a look that, you know, we're seeing more and more of, where it's very ornate, very heavy moldings, and coupled with clean lines.
I think it's the unexpected element too. Like that's what makes it look interesting, is that it's like, wow, I would never have thought of pairing those 2 things together, but it makes it look interesting and like a story, so you don't feel like it's all generic.
Okay, cool. Eclectic design. Go try it now. We're going to break. More coming up. Stay with us.